if you have got concerns, there are avenues that you can have these concerns raised and attended to. But you also need to know that the doors of Parliament are wide open. I have seen different people bringing in petitions, some of them approaching members of Parliament. You can approach any member of Parliament, but you can also petition the office of the Speaker. I have seen severally when citizens write to the Speaker, they petition the office of the Speaker, and the matters come on the floor of Parliament. And so sometimes people find it, sometimes people fear doing that, or they are not sure whether their concerns are going to be heard and so on. But I really would like to encourage you, if you have got concerns, we are there to serve you, to serve your interests. So let us know some of those concerns. But because this falls under a different committee, I will request that probably I concentrate on, I stick to the subject we're talking about, which is the Public Service Pension Fund Bill. You will forgive me if you, I hope you will not be offended, but I would love to respond to the things that fall directly under my docket. About those who have not yet, there was a question about what would happen to people who have not yet qualified for pension, and what would happen to those who are already about to retire. Now, again, the bill provides, gives a provision for this kind of situation. For example, the moment this comes into law and implementation takes off, there are those who will mandatorily fall under this new arrangement, and there are those who will not fall under this new arrangement. So just as I stated at the start, yes, there is this new scheme, but also government will continue with the old one, especially for the pensioners who are already receiving their monthly pension. They will not be migrated to the new scheme, because the new scheme is going to look at those who are still serving now. But even those who are still serving now, if you are left with 5 years and below to retire, 5 years and below to retire, you will be maintained in the old scheme, the current scheme. But if you have more than 5 years to serve, more than 5 years to retire, you will be migrated to the new scheme. But that does not mean that for the years you have worked, you will not have the benefits. The benefits for the years you have worked will still be there, but from the time of the implementation of the new scheme, you will be migrated to the new scheme, and upon retirement, you will be treated based on your contribution and the contribution of your employer, but for the period you served before the new scheme came in, you will also have those benefits. And so that is where I say government will continue putting resources to cover the pensioners who are currently receiving their pay, but also to plan for its contribution, so that as the employees are contributing, government also fulfills, its obligation. Now that takes me to the question a gentleman asked and said, what happens when government defaults, when government fails to pay the 10% contribution? There should be no debate of what happens when government fails, because even now, government is carrying the responsibility alone on its shoulder. So why should government fail when the burden has been drastically reduced? Actually, government should be a lot more effective, because the challenge we have now and what we are trying to deal with is that, in the current form, government is struggling to pay. So when we reduce the burden, I think government should have enough resources to make sure its part, the contribution is given. So there should be no excuse. But, and that's why we have made these provisions of penalties and all that. There are penalties. And
Charity, please.
And this fund is going to be run as a body corporate, can sue or can be sued, and government will have a responsibility to make sure that the 10% contribution is put. And that is why when you look at the report of the committee, leave alone the bill, we indicated in the report how much money government will need next year in the event that the implementation starts in the next financial year. There are clear figures that government presented to the committee. We considered and we found the figures to be realistic, and we brought to Parliament, and Parliament actually approved that. So there are already steps being taken by government to make sure its part, on its part, arrangements are made so that all this is. So I really want to think that yes, we can have those fears, but they are catered for.
All right. Thank you very much. We are heading towards the close of this space. I had seen someone called Charity. I don't know that she has dropped off. Okay. Meanwhile, you can probably summarize Honorable Mapenduzi in the next 3 minutes. I also want to acknowledge the presence of our Director Communication and Public Affairs, Mr. Chris Obore. I don't know whether in the closing minutes he would like to say something, but for now, Honorable Mapenduzi, please kindly make a summary of what we've discussed so far. Honorable Mapenduzi?
Yeah, sorry, I thought I had unmuted. I really do not want to repeat a lot of the things I have said, but one, I would request you, the people participating in this platform this evening, to take interest and try to run through this bill. Look at this bill. Parliament has done its part. Parliament has passed this bill. It will now go to the president. And the moment the president has assented to the bill, has signed the bill, it will go to the next stage, and it will become law. So I would request that you find time, you interest yourself and read. One challenge we know is that in this country, there are so many laws, but there are very few citizens who take interest and try to look through some of these laws. There are so many laws, and there are a lot of information you can gather. And by the way, technology has made life easier. You can check, you can Google. You will have all these facts available. You will have all these different laws available. There are so many bills that have been brought to Parliament. Parliament has passed so many. There are many, So I really would like to encourage that we spend time to understand what happens in our country, but also interest ourselves in understanding what Parliament is doing. And that helps a lot in also making us, the members of Parliament who represent you, get to understand some of the areas that you think we do. So I want to appreciate the people who have had the opportunity to make these contributions, and we take that very seriously. Otherwise, I want to say thank you for the evening. Unless there is another question, I think on my part, I'll stop here. But if there is any question or any area that you probably think was not clear, I am more than happy to put some clarity on it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mapenduzi. Thank you so much, our listeners. These spaces will be on every topical issue that comes up in Parliament, and the intention is to increase the level of debate on matters before Parliament, and also to pick your views and your opinion on matters before your representatives, and see how to co-opt them in their decision making to ensure that this remains a House of Representatives which is sensitive to the feelings and aspirations of every Ugandan out there. We thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and good evening and good luck.
I thought you had said the director would say what or two. Are you not denying him?
No. I think he has a network issue. I don't see him anymore, but I think he'll have an opportunity to contribute very soon.
Thank you very much, and God
Because
bless you.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable.